Last week was Google I/O 2026, and Google looked at the concept of calm, normal software updates and said, what if every single product became an AI agent that watches you work and politely replaces your entire personality? Because this year's keynote wasn't just about AI. It was about AI inside AI, powered by more AI, running an AI that manages other AIs. If you took a shot every time they said Gemini, your smartwatch would have called emergency services halfway through the keynote. According to one recap, the word Gemini was apparently mentioned over 200 times. At this point, it stops being a product name and starts sounding like a cult initiation phrase. In this video, I'm going to give you a recap of the event. Let's get to it. The biggest announcement was obviously the new Gemini 3.5 lineup, because Google has officially entered the every 6 months your AI becomes emotionally stronger than you era. Gemini 3.5 Flash is supposed to be faster, smarter, and more agentic, which is Silicon Valley language for it now opens tabs you didn't ask for, but somehow still thinks it helped. Meanwhile, Gemini Omni was introduced as this multimodal, create anything you want from any input kind of system. Meaning we're now one firmware update away from typing "make me a movie trailer where my toaster fights Godzilla" and getting a fully voiced cinematic universe in 12 seconds. And then Google introduced Gemini Spark, which sounds less like an assistant and more like an energy drink designed for programmers who haven't seen daylight since Android Jelly Bean. Spark is supposed to be this always-on AI companion that follows you across apps and workflows, helping with real-time tasks. Because apparently the future of computing is having a digital coworker that never sleeps, never stops talking, and definitely judges your browser history in silence. Search also got rebuilt again because Google apparently woke up one morning and decided that 10 blue links were too emotionally unstable. The new AI-powered search experience dynamically generates layouts, answers questions conversationally, and can even use images and video in responses, which means Google search has officially evolved from "here are websites" into "trust me, bro, I summarize the internet for you." Somewhere out there, search engine optimization expert just collapsed dramatically onto a keyboard while whispering, "please think of the backlinks." And of course, YouTube got AI, of course. Features too, because no Google product is allowed to survive without becoming slightly terrifying. There's now conversational search and Ask YouTube, which basically means instead of searching for tutorials yourself, you can now have AI summarize a 38-minute video that should have been a 90-second forum post in the first place. Meanwhile, the Play Store is getting generative AI, recommendations, and Ask Play chatbot, because apparently we've reached the point where even downloading a calculator app requires machine learning infrastructure and several nuclear reactors worth of compute power. Then came the smart glasses, because every tech company eventually reaches the same conclusion. What if your face had notifications? Google showed off refreshed Android XR glasses and Project Aura hardware partnerships with brands like Xreal, Warby Parker, and Gentle Monster, which honestly sounds less like a tech ecosystem and more like a lineup for a cyberpunk fashion week. These glasses promise live translation, AI assistance, audio features, and augmented reality overlays. So basically, in 2026, your glasses can now interrupt you before actual humans do. Google also pushed AI hard into generated creativity tools with Flow, Pix, and advanced video generation systems. Translation: Hollywood executives are sweating harder than Nintendo executives during a RAM shortage. You can now generate videos, edit images conversationally, and build interactive worlds with prompts. We've officially entered the era where someone can type, make a cinematic masterpiece about raccoons overthrowing capitalism, and accidentally creating the next Oscar contender. For developers, Google unveiled upgrades to anti-gravity, WebMCP, and more agent building tools, because apparently coding manually is now considered a vintage hobby like collecting vinyl records or remembering passwords. Developers can now build Android apps using natural language prompts, which means somewhere there's a programmer angrily muttering back in my day, we had to suffer manually. But my favorite part, and favorite obviously depending on the sense of humor, of the entire keynote might be the fact that despite all these announcements, Google still delayed Gemini 3.5 Pro. Imagine announcing the future of civilization powered by AI agents while simultaneously saying, by the way, the really important one isn't ready yet. That's the most Google thing imaginable. It's like unveiling a flying car and then quietly admitting the wheels are still in beta version. At the end of the day, Google I/O 2026 felt less like a developer conference and more like a live demonstration of what happens when a company consumes 6 straight years of science fiction and unlimited cloud compute. Everything is now AI. Your search engine is AI. Your glasses are AI. Your shopping cart is AI. Your email is AI. At this point, I fully expect Google Maps to start emotionally analyzing my driving habits by next year. And honestly, the wildest part is most of this stuff actually looks impressive, terrifying, slightly dystopian, but impressive. Because whether we like it or not, Google basically spent 2 hours telling the world the AI era is no longer coming. It's already updating in the background. Anyways, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. As always, you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, yet X, yes, I'm still calling it Twitter, and of course, right here on YouTube at JR Abrams Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.